Justin Robert Young program brought to you as always by everybody who's a Borsutz. Pay Jury Daily.com. Pay Jury Daily. Pay Jury Daily. Pay Jury Daily.com. Yeah, come on over. It goes to our Patreon page. You can kick in a little scratcheroo, and you keep this little program humming. We went to daily. We've been rewarded. You guys have been there for us. And man, oh man, am I excited about it. Head on over there right now. PayJuryDaily.com. But never talking about how we support the show. What do you say we just do the damn thing? I'm eating too many nuts. Too many nuts. All right. Look, I'm going to say something that happened a couple days ago. I've been buried in shame about it, and I'm going to admit it to you because it's the end of the week. I can't hold it in much longer. Friends, you know that I have a hard time keeping secrets from you. I do. I'm not a very good secret keeper. I have very thin skin, and then when I just see people, I see everybody here in the chat. I see Zoe Brings Bacon, I see Lawn Makes, I see Tweak 900, I see Tally Zorel, and all I can do when I read your screen names is say, why haven't you told them? What do you mean? Why haven't you told them of your secret? What secret, internal voice? The secret you've been keeping from them from the beginning of the week. We gotta be more specific. The secret that you learned at the gym. Oh no! Why? They don't care about my physical fitness. They don't care about my diet. They don't care about my weight. They're just people. I get to do the story. I talk about how a health-conscious hitman was rung up for a crime because of his GPS tracking watch. They care. They care. They care dearly. All right. So lately I've been going to the gym, and by lately I mean the last few months. You know, there was like a little bit of a break in October because I was on the road a lot. There was obviously a little bit of an interruption during the holidays because of hours and everything. But in general, I have been trying to see a personal trainer for a little while now. Physical fitness is not something that I have ever necessarily made much of a priority aside from me trying to run a little bit more. Then I had my back injury. I couldn't run and I felt bad, so I kind of got fat. I was also drinking a lot because of the pain brought on by the injury. But now I've been doing a little bit better. And so about a month ago, I decided I was going to see this guy twice a week, and I said, you want to know what? Let's turn it down to once a week, but you just give me shit to do all the other days. Just write out like a 7-day thing for me, and I'll go do it. And so I have been. And for the first time since I started seeing this guy, I went and stood on a biometric scale, all right? Let me see if I can get a picture here for you guys. A biometric scale. If you've never been on one of these motherfuckers, they have like these like metal things at the bottom, and they have little handles on them that effectively you are, it measures your body mass and measures how much fat is there, how much muscle is there, blah, blah, blah. So they got this fancy-ass one at the gym, and as I'm about to start my thing, he's like, hey, let's go ahead and check in. Stand on the scales. So I did. And I'm terrified. Because for January, I've been doing dry January, which means that as I haven't been drinking, I've gotten a little loose with my diet. I'm not going to lie to you. I've gotten a little loose with it. And specifically over the weekend, I ate like a pile of shit. It would be medically and scientifically described as a pile of shit. That's how I ate. I ate bad. Normally, I'm pretty good at staying away from what they nutritionists refer to as disaster foods. Right? And so, I knew I had gained weight over the weekend because I weigh myself every morning. My goal was during dry January, I wanted to get back into the 160s. I'm at in between 170 and 175. And so I was weighing closer to 175, just in my underwear. Next thing you know, I stand on this scale. Oh, by the way, here's the other thing. Real quick flashback. I don't know if we talked about it on this show. When I was in Vegas over, the waning days of December, me and Ashley were there with the Brushwoods, Brian and Bonnie. And the last day of that trip, Ashley wanted us all to get pedicures together. Because the last time we went there, we got pedicures, and they shaved a fucking entire gravy boat worth of cheese off of my foot. It was gross. It was really fucking gross. So she's like, all right, we're going to go. We'll all get it together. All four of us. It'll be a fun little end to the trip. Because we were all headed to the airport right afterward. So by the end of it, the pedicure ladies are talking to me and Brian, and we're like, and they're like, "Oh, what color toenail polish do you want?" And Brian's like, "Oh, you want to know what? It'll be funny for the girls. If the girls see, he's got 3 little girls. If the girls see Daddy with toenail polish, it'll be really funny." So he picks some toenail polish thing. And I'm like, none for me. And then it becomes peer pressure. And I realize very quickly that I'm the little brother during a makeup night of a sleepover. And there's really no choice. Because now all the ladies with the foot stuff are trying to tell me, get the toenail polish, get the toenail polish. I'm like, oh, no, not for me. And then Ashley starts saying, get the toenail polish. Then Bonnie starts saying, get the toenail polish. And then Brian says, get the toenail polish. And then the lady, she's like, oh, well, look at this one really matches the gray in your hair. And I'm like, fuck it, fine, get the toenail polish. And in my head, I'm like, I work by myself. When is anybody going to even see my toes? If I were in Florida, people see my toes all the time because I like to wear flip-flops everywhere. But I don't live in Florida. It's the rainy season out here. It's been raining in fucking Oakland for the past 2 weeks. I ain't never going to have my little toesies out. Sure enough, I get this fucking toenail polish on. Literally the next day, John Teasdale, my co-creator on Contender and Action News, comes over and I have no shoes on and he's like, nice toenail polish. And I'm like, yeah. And then I'm on this biometric scale on Monday and I realize, oh, okay, well now I have, I have my toenail polish on for my personal trainer that I see once a week. And again, Crunchy in the chat room says, who cares if anyone sees it anyway? Nobody. It's just funny. It's just a funny thing that normally, and now I have to decide, am I going to explain it to him? Am I not going to explain it to him? And I don't give a fuck what he thinks about any implications about my toenail polish. I'm just saying that it's a thing. It's a funny situation considering I figured it would would not be seen, and now it literally, I guess I have my bare feet out for the world a lot more than I do. I didn't explain it, by the way. I'm just like, fuck it. I'm paying him. Who cares? Biometric scale says I've gained 4 pounds since I started this physical training thing. And that, on one hand, seems like a stinging indictment of this fucking personal trainer, right? I've been working out with this motherfucker for months now, and I've gained 4 pounds. He's like, oh, well, don't worry about it. Look, your body fat has gone down, albeit barely. It was like 1%. But I've gained 3 pounds in muscle. So of those 4 pounds, 3 of them were in muscle. But even then, I know it's like if I had done this, if I had known that I was doing a biometric scale reading, I wouldn't have eaten like shit over the weekend. I probably would have come in even more impressive. And now we have M. Bombacube in the chat begging me to show my toes. We've finally reached gender equality. We've reached gender equality when it's not just my wife's chat who begs her to show her feet. Now, finally, it's me too. The hirstute political pundit is now being asked to show his feet online. Finally, folks, we did it. We did it. Send the facts. We've reached gender parity. So we get to talking, and he's like, well, look, we can work all we want on working out, but ultimately this is going to be something that you got to do better with eating-wise. And I'm like, man, you know, it kind of sucks because I feel like I have a pretty good diet now. I'm sticking to a diet that he gave me. The one thing is that I do snack a lot. He's like, oh, well, how do you snack? Well, you know, I do. It's healthy. I have these bags of unroasted, unsalted almonds. And he's like, oh, like how many do you eat? And I'm like, oh, you got any gum? A lot. Handfuls upon handfuls upon handfuls of almonds. And he's like, "Ooh, no. Can't do that. Can't do that." Like, what? It's like, they're very calorie rich. So if you're gonna eat almonds, you need to like count them out. You need to like count out 10 almonds. That's it. I'm like, oh, Jesus, that seems like too few. Too few. Too few almonds. I love almonds. But I've been doing it lately. I was told that I ate too many nuts. Finally, all of my middle school bullies were proven correct. I indeed eat way too many nuts. Holy shit. All right, well, I was going to get into this. Let's actually just do it really quick. This runner is a hitman. His GPS watch tied him to a mob boss murder. There's a picture of a British runner and cyclist. This is from runnersworld.com. A British runner, cyclist, and mob hitman. That is how you begin a fucking story, ladies and gentlemen. You hear me on this show in politics, shit on writing and journalism constantly. I am forever a critic of news writing, but this is how you start a story. A British runner, cyclist, and mob hitman has been convicted for the murder of 2 rival gangsters, in part because of his GPS watch. Mark Iceman Fellows, 39, was found guilty by a jury in Liverpool Crown Court of the killing of organized crime leader Paul Mr. Big Massey and his associate John Kinsella, 55 and 53 at the time of their deaths. Although police had already suspected Fellows in the death, it was his Garmin 4Runner that linked him to Massey's unsolved 2015 murder. When detectives were investigating Fellows, they came across a picture of the suspect wearing the Garmin 4Runner during 2015's Great Manchester 10K. He ran a 47:17. 2 months before the murder of Massey that July, detectives then located the device at Fellows' home, checked the GPS data for files that could link him to Massey, and they found that the runner plotted these murders with the attention and precision of any serious athlete, and accordingly, he recorded his recon missions. Now that is awesome. So the lesson here, folks, if you are indeed a hitman/athlete, please remember, clear your data. Let's go ahead and get into your emails. JuRyDaily@gmail.com. Again, JuRyDaily@gmail.com. Talia writes, what if we put an installation of country roads from the farthest point possible from West Virginia? Or as you put it, the installation in Appalachia. Thank you for that one. This is, of course, all about our story yesterday about an art installation in Namibia that will play the song Africa by Toto forever. It's solar powered. Sean writes, this artist isn't a genius. Look at the solar charges. They have shadows cast on them. In the desert, he created shadows and then put solar chargers in the shadows. If I'm in front of a screen in the evening and I've listened to DTNS, I watch you. Otherwise, I listen to you first thing in the morning when I can put YouTube up on my desktop and check emails. Every few Fridays, I go, shit, it's Friday, no JuRY Daily, but at least I get a $3 PX3 on Friday. Thank you, Sean. James writes, regarding songs in Detroit, I mean, you can argue for 8 Mile, but I would really say Detroit Rock City by Kiss. Also, if it helps, according to 23andMe, I'm genetically 37% Ashkenazi Jew, 28% British Irish, and 10% German with sprinklings of Polish, Greek, Balkan, Scandinavian, and Italian DNA. I listen to this podcast somewhere between work and home. I would love if every emailer just told us how they listen. Every emailer just ended with telling us how they listen to the show. It would make me very, very, very happy. We continue on that train with Russell. Russell writes, I listen primarily on my morning or evening commute through the hellscape known as Houston traffic. Sometimes I catch up during a weekend run. If I had to propose my own art installation like Toto's Africa, it would probably be shitty speakers hanging from an interstate sign above a particularly crazy Houston interchange blasting Godzilla by Blue Oyster Cult. This way I could imagine Godzilla ripping through the bumper-to-bumper traffic, flinging cars, and chomping people. I'm not bitter. Come on, visit Houston. It's lovely. If it helps, I'm white. Thank you, Russell. Go, go, Godzilla. And finally, John wrote in about, Alanon6666 wrote in about the Gillette commercial. Hey, Justin, you hit the nail on the head about the Gillette commercial. I've started to see female friends on Facebook posting about it as though it's the most moving indie film ever. It's definitely a good message and a well-put-together commercial, but it's a commercial. Is it just me, or does it seem kind of gross to have large corporations making commercials promoting social issues to hawk their products, even if the hawking is done quietly? I don't know. Just my 2 cents after seeing this as I wake up. Alan, I agree with you. I put a thing up on Twitter today about how ridiculous I think some of this is, and just imagined headlines from the future, like Chester Cheetah creates stunning speech about the wage gap. Like, He's fucking Chester Cheetah. Do we care if Ruffles has ridges and a strong feeling about Roe versus Wade? I don't think so. Personally, they're chips. We buy the chips. They're razors. We buy the razors. They're shoes. We buy the shoes. I understand that, the people who work there might have opinions. The leadership there might have certain opinions. That's fine. I don't necessarily think that I'm going to take my cues from them. I think that there could be better spokespeople for the Me Too movement than the Gillette Razor Company. But that's just one man's opinion. Yeah, it looks like it's the end of the show, but I feel like there's one more thing we have to do, and that is to take a look into the minds of our listenership. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a segment we like to call High Thoughts. When you light a lighter, it actually makes the lighter lighter. Cain and Abel were technically the first Super Smash Bros. New body. Who dis? What if life is a crazy trip, and when you die, you wake up as an alien doing drugs with your friends, and they ask, "Did you feel anything?" Fusion reactors use giant magnets to contain the reaction. What if we build a huge enough reactor and it causes an aurora over it? What if Gallagher was right? I can barely speedrun a trip to my bathroom. Why does this segment have to be called High Thoughts? Shouldn't it be called Where Thoughts? That was High Thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, We're still stuck in the void. Thank you so much for joining us this week. It was a great string of shows. I hope you guys join us next week. I want to thank our producers, the Jen, PD Rave, Non-Specific Rock and Roll, Martian, Joe Acosta, well, Redneck Tech, James the OG, Brito, well, Matthew B, Dustin, BioCal, Robert H, Brian C, M, Trey the Melodica Man, Adam, and middle-aged Mike. You can email this show, jurydaily@gmail.com. If you have a high thought, make sure you write high thoughts in the subject line so I know how to organize it. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, available at justinryoung.com. New album, All's Well, a Night Attack album, coming out next Tuesday, January 22nd. January 22nd. That's when it comes out. Everybody needs to buy it in the first week. And we're going to try and get this motherfucker to #1 on Billboard. If we can blow up the Death Star in the honor of the great and powerful Stephen Cogswell, the man who's the reason for this album happening, it would make my year. I would be able to take the rest of the year off. 2019 can fuck itself. Join our Discord, bit.ly/JuRY Discord. That about wraps it up for us today. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to Mr. Wacky. But more importantly, please, don't hurt.